Colleen Wolfe, Connie's the queen. She is the queen of NFL media.
There you go. What an introduction. I can't take any credit. That is all producer Phil. I'm just going to do a little spiel first. I'm going to bring you in, Colleen. So welcome back to the British and Irish Eagles. I'm your host, Liam O'Neill, and today is episode 1 of season 7. Can you believe it? Season 7 of our podcast. And by golly, yes, I'm sounding more American by the day. We've got an absolutely brilliant guest joining us today. Teaser's probably already been spoiled. If you follow the NFL in any capacity, you already know who she is. You know her work. She's one of the sharpest minds and most entertaining personalities on NFL Network. She's interviewed some of the biggest names in the league, not to mention dropping us for Emmitt Smith last week. I mean, priorities. She's also covered some of the wildest stories and storylines in the NFL. Of course, she's one of our own, a proud Philadelphian and an Eagles fan. And someone who understands this city on a level very few in the national media do. Welcome back for your second appearance. Colleen, how are you?
Oh, this is such a joyous event. I'm so happy to be here. It's great to see you guys and talk to you again. And also this time, actually having been in Ireland for the game, now look at us. I mean, this is really cool.
That's awesome. Have you been to the UK before for games? I'm sure you have. Yeah.
A few of those. So they're all so much fun.
How did it compare? This is completely off script, but how did it compare the Ireland NFL experience to the UK when I heard it was better?
Oh, of course it was. First of all, my name is Colleen, so obviously I'm Irish. So I am completely biased, and I thought it was great. However, I will say, even if I wasn't Irish, I would want to be Irish. After being there, it was so awesome. Everyone was so nice. Like, that was my main take. And that wasn't just me. That was everyone I was with. We all were aligned on the fact that everyone we met along the way in Ireland, they were the most warm, welcoming, just genuine, sweet people I've ever met in my life. It was so nice. It just made the experience so much better.
That's awesome. I'm going to soundbite this, play it to my wife who's English, play it to Phil, play it to every person, Ireland.
But it's not a competition. We love all of our countries the same.
No, it is a competition, Colleen. Come on. 800 years of tyranny. We gotta win something. No, I'm kidding. We won't go down that road. All right, good stuff. Phil, welcome back to the podcast, my man. The Fence, how have you been? Have you recovered from our podcast last week and the obviously devastating end to the season for the Eagles so far?
Yeah, the podcast before we get Colleen Wolfe on, we have the worst technical difficulties ever, which gives us a week of nightmares. So the laptop was on, the studio was open about 3 hours before, because there was no way in hell I'm allowing the same problems to happen this week. And well, I think it's easier getting over the Eagles season because the Niners lost this weekend. So that's helped a lot of Eagles fans, the justice and the retribution for them coming into Philly and knocking us out. So I'm good though.
They're one of the biggest rivals now for the Eagles, the 49ers. Colleen,
I love it.
Is that normal? You've covered the Eagles for years. You've been a fan longer than we have. Obviously, in-division rivalries common. How common is it for there to be a rivalry out of division like this?
Well, I think about it in terms of just the competitive nature of the games, and then how many teams end up playing each other again and again in the playoffs. And so you think about the Bills and the Chiefs, even the Bengals mixed in there with both of those teams too for a while. That was the whole thing. And then I feel like for a while the Packers and the Seahawks were going back and forth too, and then the Niners were also involved in that. So I feel like those are probably the most recent examples. I'm sure I'm forgetting some, but the Eagles and the Niners, this sort of new spice that they have, not so new considering it started a few years ago, but it's nobody forgot about that. Nobody let that go, which really made that Eagles loss that much more painful, I think, for it to happen in Philadelphia with all of the precursors that happened. It was, I think, kind of difficult for everyone involved, I'd say.
Yeah, no, you're dead right. I was at both. I was at the NFC win when we destroyed them, and I was at the 49ers loss. As we had the difference in elation in the crowd, and the atmosphere was crazy. Anyway, we're not going to spend much time, if any time, talking about the 49ers game on this podcast, because we've done that. It's depressing.
We're done with them.
We're moving forward with hope for the future. So just to give you an idea what we're going to chat about in this podcast, we're going to get Colleen's takes on the season, on obviously the situation right now with the empty OC position, Nick Sirianni, Jalen Hurts. We'll talk about their years, what the Eagles need to do, how they flip it around. And we got some funny questions to throw in there as well, Colleen, to just get a feel for like life as, a reporter on NFL Network and across the US, because you're in every city covering all sorts of games and different shows. So.
It's real glamorous, let me tell you.
Hey, I follow you on Instagram. I see both sides. I see both sides. All right, well, let's just get down to the most obvious question of them all, which is, how do you feel about the Eagles season now that it's come to its conclusion, and like, what do you think was the single biggest reason, if you could pinpoint one? Obviously there's probably a few, as to why it ended the way it did.
Well, this is funny because this is how my therapist started our session this week, exactly, verbatim. So, I mean, God, this team, this season, the expectations were so high. It was just one thing. Anything less than a Super Bowl appearance was going to be a disappointment. And even that would be a disappointment if they didn't win after what they were able to accomplish last year. And there just seemed from the very get-go with this team that there was something amiss. And in my mind at first, I just sort of brushed it off like, there's nothing else to talk about, so we're drumming things up. And I don't know if it ended up becoming some type of self-fulfilling prophecy, or if it was just everyone subconsciously knowing that, this is going to fall apart. But it just was such a letdown, I think, for this team that has so many talented players on it. There's so many pieces that just never really felt like they were a cohesive group. And the offense, obviously, their struggles are well documented over the year, the inconsistencies, the predictableness of the offense, the fact that there just never seemed like there was urgency, and there would be these long stretches where the offense just would go radio silent, and it would be first half, they're great. And then second half, that's it. That's all they got. I don't know if that is just the other team, the defense adjusting, and then they couldn't adjust back, or what was going on. But we know that there was some type of situation happening within the locker room, and whether that carried over from last year or not, who knows how, like, what the real story is. I don't know if we'll ever find out what the real story is, and if we do, I'm not sure anyone will actually come out and say it. But it's just been, I think, a roller coaster that just kind of, it sucks because it's so frustrating this season. There were so many penalties. You saw the talent that was there, and they just could not execute.
Yeah, and as a team and individually, right? There were a lot of individuals who didn't have as good a season as usual. Yeah, some of them may even have some injuries, but AJ Brown, we're going to touch on him later on today, like, coming out and complaining in the media about not being fed the ball, and then when he is being fed the ball, dropping the ball, in important moments. I don't want to dwell too much on that because we've got a question about that later on today. But and Phil, you can take the coaching and staff questions, because I realize I already stole one of yours. But I do have one question before I hand it over.
What's your cat's name, by the way?
This is Cosmo.
Cosmo?
And then that's Amos.
Oh my God, Amos. Amos is living my dream, actually.
Yeah.
Just like stunning, not, like watching other people work. Like, that's kind of, I'm tired, and maybe I just need a vacation. I have a great job, though. This is not me complaining at all.
No. Hey, look, I did journalism at university and went down a different path in my career, so I love it. But it must be the early hours and the late nights and the traveling, all over the US and the world is is crazy. You do deserve a holiday, Colleen. Hopefully when the NFL season finally finishes. Phil did say for me not to go on and talk about the Cats because they always make an appearance on the podcast. So sorry, Phil, Colleen.
No, I literally came off mute. I was about to scold you, but you managed to carry on talking. But we talked about this, Liam. Just like no Cats. We've talked about this. Like I know they come across.
They now for our Mercedes-Benz star of the game. It is Liam's Cats.
To be honest, I do have my dog in the room with me, but she's just much more well behaved. So
I know you've got some dogs as well, Colleen. But we will go down a rabbit hole. Excuse the pun. If we go down there, so we've got an article. It's already been written. It was sent to me to proofread. It's about Tony Burton, who's one of our hosts on the podcast, and he poses the question, Colleen, which is: are the Eagles winning because of Sirianni? Like he's the main reason. Are we winning with him? I.e., we have the ability to win with him, or are we winning in spite of him? Personally, I find it a little bit harsh to say in spite of, given his record. But there's a lot of Eagles fans out there who have that belief as well. I just wondered if you had a take on this kind of topic of question, winning because of, with, or in spite of.
I really feel like they're winning with Sirianni. I don't want to say in spite of, and I think that there's so many things that go into coaching a team and so many things that have to go right. You can't say that he is the main reason, but he is the facilitator, and he's the one that shows up and keeps all of these guys together. And I think about all of the turnover at the offensive coordinator position for Jalen Hurts. The only back-to-back years that he's had the same coordinator, it's only happened one time, and it was Shane Steichen for 2 years, and that was it. Now, that's not to say that like these offensive coordinators are coming in here and changing everything. The concepts are the same, but you know, they just need to change little things about this offense. Obviously maybe more motions and shifts and stuff like that. I'm sure we'll get into it a little bit more, but I don't think that Sirianni is necessarily the problem. I think that he really tries hard to keep this place together, and it seems like the players do respond well to him. I know that it's been well documented that Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni have some type of friction, and we saw that in years past. It seems like whether or not they've matured in their way of talking publicly about it or in their way of handling each other in terms of their relationship, well, I don't know if we'll know which one it is, but I think that when I look at this team as a whole, I think that Nick Sirianni, they're winning with him.
I agree with that point, and it's funny you talk about Sirianni and Hurts. I think Hurts probably wanted Sirianni to mature a bit more in terms of the way he acts, and you know, maybe Sirianni could be frustrated because Jalen can't do maybe some of the things he wants him to do. So there could be two sides to that. But go ahead, Steve.
Does that kind of fit in there? It's an interesting point because the balance that they've clearly struck over the last couple of years has worked, and then the problems have been when Sirianni's hired his guy twice. Is that what the problem is by creating an imbalance? There's like two Siriannis, or there's like, you know, it's leaning towards Sirianni, so he's got the OC and the coach to deal with, and that's where the problems might come from.
You need someone to challenge him more, do you think? Someone with different views, perhaps, to get the best out of both?
Someone more neutral, maybe.
It feels like it is like a personality thing. And yeah, whoever they bring in just needs to have the right personality. And it's like, I look at the shows that we do on the network, and you think about it even with like your own friend groups, you know how people work best, and you know like who gets rubbed the wrong way by what, and bringing in someone who is going to, even if they are a really good football coach, if they're not going to be a good mix chemistry wise with the quarterback, then that's going to be a problem. I don't know if that was the case, but it definitely looked like there were some instances of that. But I think the offense in general was just so overly simplistic. But I do love the idea of Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni having polar opposite sort of personalities. And it feels like Jalen Hurts should have the coach personality and Sirianni as the player a little bit. So those dynamics are pretty interesting now that I think about it. I mean, I don't know.
It's interesting. Opposites attract, right? And you know, that magic clearly has happened in Philadelphia, but it's going to cause the friction that you that you discussed. Well, you picked up on a couple of good points there, Colleen, and yourself, Phil, and that's the offensive coordinator position that we've got open right now. So, Phil, I know you've got a couple of questions you wanted to throw Colleen's way.
Yeah. So, what do you think the Eagles should prioritize when it comes to the replacement? What should they be focusing on when it comes to getting the balance right, or just going completely outside the box, or hiring sort of the new upstart from the Rams potentially? There's all sorts of options there. So, what do you think they should prioritize?
I think their main thing should be prioritizing experience and hiring someone who is an established play caller already, because I don't think that would go well in Philadelphia if they ended up bringing in some new outside the box, never having called plays before type guy. Because I think that whoever they bring in should be able to operate autonomously from the actual, like, the team and Sirianni. They need to have maybe a former head coach, maybe one of the guys that's out there right now. I loved Kevin Stefanski, and I really thought that Kevin Stefanski, now of course teams are going to hire him as their head coach because he deserves to be a head coach in this league, but Stefanski's from the Philadelphia area. I used to work with his dad years ago, Ed Stefanski, when he was with the Sixers. Like, there's just like sort of a built-in, you're already a Philly guy, so you've already won half the battle already before you even start, at least with the fans. But I think that really trying to bring someone in who's going to take this offense to the next level, not only bring cohesion to the group, but also they need to evolve as well, because this is the same offense that we've seen for a while. It's not like this offense was some super complicated type scheme when they won the Super Bowl last year or even had success in years past.
Yeah.
This is the same, and it's always been this way. So just someone who can maybe modernize it a little bit more and bring in some
maybe as well,
motion. Yeah.
Colleen, like, so the biggest thing I'm taking away from hearing what you're saying right now and I'm thinking about the season is last year Kellen Moore could adapt on the fly and change things up during the game, and we saw that with Shane Steichen. But with Brian Johnson and obviously KP, whose name we do not mention, they didn't seem to adapt. Like that, and that's why there was such disparity and difference in styles and success in the halves. And I think maybe a head coach who's worked in the league long enough can understand and adapt and get us back to where we were.
I think so. I know they're interviewing Brian Daboll today,
Yep.
and that's that's an interesting candidate. I think if the Bills head coaching job wasn't open, that would probably be like the guy. But I think that he has a chance to go back to Buffalo and be the head coach where he was the offensive coordinator previously. But Brian Daboll
as well, apparently.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I just think that I like the familiarity that Daboll already has with Jalen Hurts from their time at Alabama together. And that just feels like a good fit, considering Daboll was the one who kind of took him from a running quarterback to a little bit more of those passing concepts. And then we saw that develop more in the league as well. But I think now it's almost like we want more designed runs from Jalen Hurts. Where are they? Like, go back. So
it's fan base. It's
right.
Run the ball. No, throw the ball. No, run the ball.
Exactly.
Just go back to what works.
Yeah. Mike McDaniel is an interesting one, but there's also Vic Fangio, who's the defensive coordinator, and Mike McDaniel was his former boss, so you don't really know what
apparently it was quite acrimonious, the split, I heard. There was something that was posed. If you know Bo Wolfe, he's a podcaster. Yeah,
all the Wolves know each other.
Oh, they do. Yeah. I was listening to Bo and EJ Smith, and they were saying that basically, if we were to hire McDaniel, and we said this in the last podcast, Phil, you would, or sorry, not actually, no, tell a lie. That was Dable. If we were to hire Dable, he would have to go into booth and call plays like he did in Buffalo, because him and Sirianni on the sideline would cause some kind of mass riot.
Oh my God. They would have to hire, they wouldn't just have a get back guy. They would
Big
have
Dom would
like
have to be in the middle.
a get back like squad. It would have to be like multiple security members. Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's hilarious. Talking about people who you know Aisling Bush?
Yeah.
Yeah, so me and my wife are friends with her, and we were chatting a while back, and your name came up, and yeah, we all kind of knew each other, so that was
Oh my God,
funny.
that's so funny.
Yeah.
Look at this small world.
It's a small world. I was in Philly with her having a drink only a few weeks ago.
I love her. She's the best.
Friends.
I know, right?
She's like a really close family friend, for like legit, like an OG. Love her, real one.
It's crazy. It is a small world. So on that point, Phil, I'm going to steal this question from you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Next one. On that point, talking about McDaniel, I have an opinion, but I'm asking the questions here. So I want your opinion.
Okay.
Do you think there's a risk if they hire McDaniel that Jalen will be able to operate a more complex offense, or do you think that's not a problem for Jalen and he can do it?
Well, I'm not totally sure if the limitations of the offense were stemming from a skill that Jalen Hurts might not be, great at. I don't know if it's more of like a physical limitation or a mental limitation or a personnel limitation or a coaching limitation, because there's so many different. Also, you have to consider like all of the injuries on the offensive line. That was an issue as well, and not that that's an excuse, but that does point to why. But that's just a situation where we would have to wait and see, and we could get our answer just by watching the games and seeing how things progress. And if that is sort of the issue, then I guess we wouldn't see more complex schemes and concepts built out, because that is what Mike McDaniel is great at. He's an offensive genius. And even when he was working in San Francisco, just the things that they would do with the run game and the things that the Eagles wanted to do this year with this offense, they just were not able to do.
This is going to be a bit of a weird segment in the podcast for those of you listening in, for a couple of reasons. One, the backgrounds might look slightly different. Two, me and Colleen both have beers now because it's later on in the day.
Cracking mine open right now.
We had some technical difficulties earlier on today. Surprisingly, not on our side after last week's debacle. And Colleen generously said she would come back on later on after she finished her day of work and her other podcast. So Colleen is back. There's an Ethernet cable doing its job, Colleen.
Fingers crossed. It better be. I don't know why I'm paying for internet if it doesn't work. So yeah, I am confident in it.
So those listening in, we were just talking about whether Jalen was a problem, whether we can do a complex offense or not. And Colleen says she didn't think he's the problem, and we're just gonna roll into the rest of the questions here. I won't give you all my opinion as whether Jalen is the problem, because I think y'all know what I'm thinking. Cool. All right, let's look at the team then. We've talked about Sirianni, we've talked about Patullo, we've talked a little bit about Jalen Hurts. We'll get to Jalen in a bit, but let's talk about the players that the Eagles have on their roster right now, specifically those who contracts are expired, and the Eagles would need to re-sign them. And there's maybe one other player in there who might be traded. We don't know. Colleen, who do you want to bring back to the Eagles? Who do you want to see back in Kelly Green next year? And who do you think might have played their last game?
Well,
don't need to go through all of them.
I would love to see every single player in Kelly Green for every single game. That would really be the main goal here.
Yes.
But since that's not an option, I know that we have guys like Dallas Goedert, who I could see kind of going either way. He might end up being a cap casualty, even though he has the production, but that is something that if Howie Roseman does decide to go in a different direction, then that becomes one of the number one needs that they would need on this roster, because they would have 0 tight ends, proven tight ends on the roster. So, and you know what's so interesting? I think about watching the evolution of that position from college to the pros, and how when I started covering the league and when I first got into everything, which was over a decade ago, I was kind of interested in why the tight end position traditionally took almost the longest to make that transition to the pros. And now it's completely opposite. And there's so many really talented pass catching tight ends that come out of college and are just immediately ready for the pros and immediately making impacts. We see it every single year. And for quarterbacks, like, to be able to have someone who can do both of the things, blocking and catch passes, that's such a great safety valve. And for Jalen Hurts, this is something that the offense would really benefit from. So if Dallas Goedert ends up going, I just like the fact that there's someone named Dallas playing for the Eagles. And so that always just feels like anytime he scores a touchdown, it's some type of flex. So I would like that to continue to be a thing. But I look at guys like, is Jalen Phillips is someone who
we would have to pay him. We already got him on a 1-year deal, Phil. Is that right?
Yeah. He's definitely on my list.
I think that he's a high priority, especially because we know the established relationship with Vic Fangio and how well they work together, and how the defense really started to look different once he came over after that acquisition. So I would like him to stay.
There's a knock on to that though, Colleen, and I think you know what it is, because we got two linebackers already locked into rookie contracts who are not both rookies. Obviously, we know one of them is a veteran. And you could make the argument that Campbell could have been pushed out to edge, but if Jalen Phillips is going to be there with Jalen Hunt there, that's probably not going to happen. Which means what happens with
Nakobe Dean? Yeah, I mean, this is I look at his age and I wonder if that's going to be like a Howie thing, even though Nakobe Dean, I just think that for me, he should be a guy that they keep. And of course, I would like for them to keep everyone. So I would be a terrible GM. I would make every single decision with my heart and not my head. I would want Brandon Graham back. I'd want the whole crew back. But it's a lot of tough decisions for Howie. And granted, Howie loves to wheel and deal and get extra picks and do his thing. He loves to be a story on draft day, around like the draft in general. So I do think that he'll be doing some type of deal, whether he's moving up, back, whatever in between. I don't know, but he's always moving around. So those are just like a couple guys. I guess Reed Blankenship is someone too that you got to look at. You got to decide if he's going to go.
Not his best year in an Eagles jersey, I don't think.
No. And so I think that he'll probably end up walking at some point. And then you have guys like, obviously, I don't think that Jahan Dotson is going to be back. He never really kind of made his way into the offense.
I'd agree.
And that kind of depends too on what they end up doing with their wide receiver position. We know how
you said you would like everyone back, Colleen. Do you?
I always want everyone back.
You mean everyone back? What do you think about the elephant in the room? AJ Brown reports that he's requested multiple trades during the season.
I know.
Obviously was very outspoken in the media. Was told to shut up until the Super Bowl, and we haven't heard from him since then. He's a Patriots fan. There's rumors that he wants to go there. Him and Jalen have had their tiffs. I mean, do you want that?
I mean, if it's really that bad, if that is the issue, and then everything else is just trickling down from there, then yeah, that's what we'll end up seeing, because that would be the prudent move by Howie, he would still garner a lot in return, AJ Brown, and then you can use that to get younger at the position, if you want to draft, if you want to trade, whatever. But that is a possibility. I think that we'll all find out the answer to that very soon, which is kind of great because at least we'll kind of have a little bit of clarity on what went wrong there.
Mhm.
But I don't know. What about you? Who are you feeling should stay or go?
Phil, you go ahead.
I was going to say there's a news story doing the rounds at the moment on Eagles social media about the Bills. Don't know how much foundation there is in that, but it's from NFL executives as the source. So
what specifically about
for
the
AJ
Bill?
Brown, sorry.
Yeah,
Oh.
that would make sense. I could see that. That would
Yeah, I mean, he needs a weapon to go and prove that
Be
he
the
is
AFC as
him.
well, and
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I want Nakobe Dean back more than any player on the team.
Yeah.
I think I'm not in the majority. I tend to not be in the majority of my takes on this podcast. I would have Nakobe Dean back. I think when he came back this year, he gave the defense such a lift.
Yeah.
I would keep Nakobe Dean over Jalen Phillips, which again I know is not
Wow.
in the majority.
Wow.
I would.
Yeah.
I'd give Campbell a go at the edge position. Jihad Campbell and I'd have Nakobe Dean and
I
but
know it's
that
cap dependent, but it feels
I
like
don't
we're
think he's going to command a massive. I think. Sorry, Phil. I don't know. Let you go. I think Nakobe Dean feels like he owes the Eagles a little bit for drafting him on that third day or second day when he dropped down, second or third day, because he was predicted to be a first round pick. Then he's had injuries. The Eagles have stuck with him. They've put him in. He's played well. I can see some kind of team-ish friendly shorter deal based on with maybe low guaranteed money based on his injuries and because he's 25, he's just turned 25. They say he was the best defensive player on the best defense in college football for that Georgia Bulldogs team. I think we started to see flashes of it this year, but I don't know if it's going to happen. I'm sad. I think he might go and
You really do love Nakobe Dean, don't
I
you?
do. Yeah.
I can see it written all over your face.
I think he's
He
a
doesn't
great
hide it
guy as well, and he's a good culture guy. And I'm a big people person. I want good human beings on my team to support,
Of
and
course.
and he is that. And AJ Brown definitely a good human being. There's no denying it. But I think he cares more about his own stats than the team winning Super Bowls, and for that reason, I would cut ties with AJ Brown. Again, don't think I'm in the majority there.
I just think
I
that
don't
we've been
know.
so devoid of linebacker quality for so long, and edge rusher sort of. I think, like you said, if there's still rookies on the team, there's still abilities. Howie's the cap master. There's still possibility. You got Brandon Graham will probably come back on a very cheap deal if it all works out. I think he still wants to play.
I would
I
love
don't
him
see a
back.
problem with what some people are looking at it as wasting talent because we have too many people, but the rotation side of things can't be underestimated either. Jalen Phillips, if he wants to come back, he said he absolutely loved Philly. He really
Yeah.
We
enjoyed
love
the year
that.
that he's
We
been
love
there.
to hear it.
Yep.
He's
So
welcome
I
back
think-
anytime. We'll keep the light on for him.
Yep.
Go somewhere else. It might not work out. Stay around for another year. Why not?
Yeah.
Fred Johnson won't be back, we don't think, unless he gets no suitors. He said that he feels like he's a starting tackle now. So the only way we see Fred Johnson back, I think, is if the worst news in the world happens and Lane Johnson decides he can't come back and play another year or two for the Birds. But
Yeah.
I think that would be.
That would be catastrophic.
Oh, yeah.
Philly will burn.
Like you can't replace, as the saying goes, one Johnson with another Johnson. So we'd like to keep Lane Johnson in his spot where he is now. And, another Johnson, his depth is never terrible.
No, it's not. You're right. The Battle of the Johnsons, there's only one winner. There's only one winner there. Phil, pass over to you. I could have went so many ways with that one, Phil. Come on, I didn't go down the rabbit hole you thought I was going to go down. Phil, there's a couple of questions here, or maybe that last one in the roster moves if you want to ask.
Yeah, I was going to say, we kind of covered about team players that will move on in the same sort of realms of the previous question. But okay, Colleen, if you were Howie Roseman for a day, what's the first roster move that you would make right now? What if you could make one?
Talent from another team, I'm assuming. Poaching someone? Is that what you mean, Phil?
No.
Okay. Well, it could be like sacking Jalen or sacking Sirianni or.
Yeah, what's your
wow.
priority?
Yeah.
You're the GM. Like, what's your
Alright.
first move this off season to set yourself up for every move you're going to make thereafter? I suppose.
Okay. Well, I would go on vacation. Just like
Yeah.
a real quick one.
GMs never vacation. Come
I
on.
know, my God. I think that, well, I would obviously make sure that Lane Johnson, like, just try and like get a feel for where he is. I would probably end up like flying to wherever he lives, or is training or is like vacationing wherever, and just get a good kind of gauge for where his head is at this point. And then I probably would end up, I would either it would be a pass catcher. Like, it would either be figuring out AJ Brown or figuring out Dallas Goedert, because then that sets up your whole draft order and your draft priorities and who you're going to end up doing visits with and all of that. So I think that it would either start with the pass catcher position, or I would end up maybe going to the back end of the defense and figuring out the safety room.
Yeah, and I suppose the only third option there would be if Lane really only has one more year left. I mean, we know Harry likes to draft in the trenches. Does he dip in for an offensive tackle in the first round, and they can learn under
that.
Lane for the next year? I like your idea better. Normally, I like, bringing in talent to replace them when they're going to retire. But like, linebackers and tight ends didn't used to be the sexiest positions in like the NFL. Feels like they are now. Feels like they're sexy, like linebackers and tight ends. Like you mentioned it
so
earlier,
sexy,
right?
I can't wait till AI clips this.
But like you mentioned earlier, like you look at Bowers, you look at McBride, coming along. Like these guys are generational talents, and
they're almost like,
hasn't quite hit it yet, but
it's almost like they are getting more run and they're almost more popular than some of like the top end wide receivers. Like, I mean, clearly Trey McMillan, like he's going to be every single time people are going to Tet McMillan. Everybody, like, he had such a great rookie season. He was lights out. Emeka Ibuka, like, same thing. But I just think that the tight ends, I don't know if it's just because like the novelty of it, and it's still like, holy shit, like they are hitting right away this fast, or if it's just like that's kind of where everything is moving and they're building wide receivers just bigger, stronger, faster now.
Yeah, and like you mentioned earlier, they can also block.
Right.
Unlike AJ Brown. Anyway, moving on.
Oh man.
Just that play. I mean, we all saw that play where he was brought inside, and
we saw it.
Oh man. Anyway, this is not the AJ Brown podcast. All right, I'm going to throw some quirky questions at you then. What have you had any quirky or hilarious behind the scene moments this year, or in the last couple of seasons, that has happened that maybe people don't know about? They obviously are willing to share.
Oh my God, I'm like every single show. Like I'm not even sure where to even pinpoint it. I think that what everyone sees on the air is like, sometimes I think it is unbelievable. Like it's a miracle that it happens and comes off the way that it does, because of all of the chaos behind the scenes. Like there's so much going on at once, and there's so many people involved that you just like, nothing is as it appears at all. Like I mean, we're doing stuff that you would never guess. Like people are taped into outfits. Like there's a trick that I can't believe I'm going to tell you guys this. There's a trick that some of the men will. I don't work with any on any shows anymore, but in the past, and this is like an industry. This is an industry-wide thing for guys who sweat a lot, like who are like pitting out, like the pit master in Seattle. That Mina Kimes coined him that. John Schneider, their GM. They will put maxi pads in their suit to absorb the sweat so it doesn't come through on camera. So there's amazing. Just like a lot of things that happen behind the scenes. That one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's going
viral.
Welcome, everyone.
Yeah, it's going viral. That's awesome. I saw a video the other day of you filming two of the guys. I can't remember which two people it was, and they were like jostling around in front of the camera, and you were like filming them, and that would kind of gave me the insight into what that craziness is like that you're talking about.
Oh my God, Mooch! That was Mooch and Kurt dressed up as I'm not even sure. Oh, Dumb and Dumber. So they were doing that bit. I guess for Halloween, I dressed up as Joe Flacco, and
Nice.
I spray painted my face with like this like hair stuff to make it look like a beard. And then I was like gluing stuff on my face and my head. But then I only had like one break after that segment to then get it all off and like restore justice or restore order. I'm like restore justice and order, all of it.
Yeah. New program, Colleen Wolfe, Justice and Order.
It would be canceled within a week. Yeah, but it's just always madness. And any show I do with Mooch is pure comedy.
It looks
like there's stuff falling behind the scenes. People are tripping over like cables. It's fun. That's honestly my favorite part of the shows. It's like the stuff that people don't get to see because it's comedy.
That sounds amazing. All right, I got another one here for you. Because I feel like you've kind of answered number 2 already, which is what one thing about your job that would shock people to learn. I think the pitmaster covers that one, but I'll let you think about another one if you have one.
Okay.
While you're thinking of that, I'll give you another one. Maybe we'll come back to the other one. Do you have a favorite interaction with Eagles fans, or a moment where Philly energy really hit you, like a moment that you remember, either in Philly or an interaction with Philly fans not in Philadelphia?
Well, aside from every single time I go home and to like see my parents and everyone I get to see along the way, the NFC Championship game, I guess it was last year.
Yep. Washington.
They're all like, it's all blending together, but there was one of them. Yeah, it was Washington. I was home for it, and I had reached out to a soft pretzel factory in the city and asked them if they could fashion a sash, like a soft pretzel sash for me, so then I could make my Eagles pick and put on the sash. And giving those pretzels away afterwards and then like wearing the sash into the game as well, like into the press box, is an unhinged type of move. And I really got the exact energy back that I was putting out there, and it was really appreciated.
That's awesome. I was there as well. I'm gutted I didn't see it. Next time you're going to a game, Colleen, hit me up, and you better be wearing pretzels. That's all I'm saying.
Perfect. I mean, like, listen, I also at the Super Bowl I had a trash bag where I was gathering confetti off of the field.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was grabbing some and then bringing it over to the stands for everyone who was still hanging out afterwards that wanted confetti. And it was just like the little kids. Everyone was a little kid at that point. Look at you. You got some too.
Yeah.
Do you want me to flex here, Phil? Am I going to go?
No, you don't need an excuse to flex. Let's move on.
Are you sure? I'm going to do it anyway. Jamal Singleton, Eagles running back coach, is a friend of our podcast. He's been on 4 or 5 times now, and
amazing!
His daughter collected some up, and he sent some to our house.
I love
from
that.
From the Singletons. So I'll definitely flex twice about that now on this podcast, but just that is really cool.
I'll just put my tiny little
right, good. This is a nice one. How do you balance being a professional analyst with being someone who clearly understands the passion of fan bases like Philadelphia? Kind of how do you balance your professionalism when you're reporting, knowing how much of a diehard Eagles fan you are?
You know, it's a tough balance to strike. It's walking a tightrope all the time. But I'd say that I don't always necessarily balance it that well. So I kind of I can objectively look at the teams and talk about all of the teams, whether it's like negative or positive, and I can do that pretty well. But then it's like, I'm not going to hide who I am or how I feel. So it's much easier that way, I've found.
Yeah.
So I just lean into it.
Yeah, I mean, I love that. And I think you have to be who you are, because that's part of your personality. That's part of like your media personality. And you don't come across as someone who has a different media personality to your personality in person. So
I don't know how to do that. That sounds exhausting.
No. Yeah,
I know people that do that. And my God, I mean, cool, but that's not for me.
No, I'm the same in my job. Like I coach C-suite executives on how to like present and coach and pitch, etc.
Oh,
But like I definitely say some things sometimes which I definitely should not be saying because it's just me. It's just who I am. Take it or leave
exactly.
it.
Right.
Phil, do you want to oh yeah, why don't you go for a few questions here, Phil? We'll take whichever one you want.
I'll have to have a look now. Yeah, I think we're going to move on to Nick Sirianni,
Yep.
Colleen, because we spoke about it a little bit at the start. I think it was a long time ago now, it was about 4 hours ago now. Trying to remember, but
We've been on this
what-
podcast for 7 hours.
He's never coming on again.
It's a telethon now, Colin.
Oh God,
What's your-
we nearly did this live, by the way. We nearly went out
that would have
live.
been
That would have been an absolute disaster.
Incredible. That would have been
What we-
incredible.
what
Yeah.
we don't.
All right. Sorry, Phil. Go
But
ahead. I'll shut up.
no, it's all right. What's your current confidence level with Nick Sirianni, and how much pressure do you think he is under going into the next season, especially obviously with another brand new OC under him at some point?
I actually have a lot of confidence in Nick Sirianni just because when you look at the track record and the way that the cadence has gone with the offensive coordinators, it's like you promote someone from within and then it doesn't work out, and then you hire from outside, it works out really well, and then they get a job, so you have to hire again. And so if we're going based off of that trend, then looks like the Eagles are going to go to the Super Bowl next year. So I feel very confident about it. As long as they are able to bring someone in that can maximize the talents of this offense, they don't have to change it. Like they don't have to do a whole overhaul of it. They
Agreed.
just need to add some wrinkles here and there and keep the concepts the same. Like I mentioned earlier, I think Nick Sirianni's a good head coach, and I have a lot of confidence that this group is talented. And of course, Howie Roseman has done such a good drafting. Their scouts are awesome at identifying talent. So the fact that they got to the playoffs again this year, and all season long, all anyone did was talk about how dysfunctional they were.
I know.
It's like, okay, well, you could also be a franchise that is like doesn't even think about getting to the postseason because you're just so far away from it. I mean, I think that I think people in Philly and I'm included in that, like are spoiled by the fact that the Eagles have been good. And that's a good thing. The expectations are high and they should be.
Do you think that Nick's lost like he's like had his 2 shots now to hire his guy, and that's going to be it from now on? It's just going to be Howie and Jeffrey picking the guy from here on out, whether it works
I
or
wonder because you would imagine that you only get a certain number of strikes and then you're kind of out of them. But I think it'll be really telling what this hire is, who the hire is this time around, and I'm not sure that it's almost like any other franchise. Well, I shouldn't say that because Tomlin and John Harbaugh just got fired. There's not a lot of patience in the league. And Nick Sirianni has just, if you took a step back and didn't even know the name and just looked at the raw numbers, you'd be like, this guy did a great job. So it should be based on that, but it's really only based on your last game, your last season. So I think that if they do end up struggling again next year, then sure, changes will come.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, if he does struggle this year, and that's the follow-up question, isn't it, Phil, around how much pressure is he on this year? I think it's hilarious that he's under any pressure. Any other like team in the league would kill for the performances and record we've had in the last few years. You can say he's not the greatest offensive mind in the world, but that's not what a leader is all about. A leader is someone who galvanizes people, who builds a culture, who manages people, who lets others thrive, beneath him, and he's shown that he can do that. But it is Philadelphia, so there's no doubt if we struggle this year, there will be some questions around them. I just got one quick question to help me and a few of us settle a couple of debates here, and a lot of people listening in. Do you think that Nick Sirianni, and you can answer these separate, Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts are considered elite in their roles? Would you call Jalen Hurts an elite quarterback if you look at quarterback in the whole? Would you call Nick Sirianni elite if you look at Nick Sirianni in the whole?
That's not fair, Liam.
I mean, what are we doing here? Are we putting this is the Joe Flacco elite question, and I hated it when it was Joe Flacco because it was always like, is Joe Flacco elite after he won the Super Bowl? And
are they top 5 in their position in the league? That's what I would call elite.
Well, I would say for Sirianni after the season, no, even though it's a playoff team, but
Sure.
the offense never, we've seen past years with Sirianni where bye week comes, they make the switch, something changes, but nothing changed this year. It was the same thing. And there were a couple moments where you thought, oh, okay, well, maybe because that worked and the run game worked. And as soon as they just started like going deep to AJ Brown, he caught the ball, he scored. This is great. Maybe they're just going to do more of this. But it's not that simple. And I think that other years I would give him the nod, but this year, no, if we're just going off of the body of work from 2025 season. And Jalen also, same thing. He had moments this year where he was a top 5 quarterback. And it is such a hard thing to even like put rankings together because you have to like if you were to switch out one quarterback and put them on another offense with a different coordinator and different injuries and different schedules and different climates and like all of it, there's so many variables. But I don't think overall that Jalen Hurts was a top 5 quarterback this year. He didn't perform that way. I think he can be one, and we've seen him be one in the past, but this year, whether or not it was because of him, like we don't really know, but he just did not perform up to where he can. We know where his potential is.
That's a great answer. Phil, anything to add?
Thank you.
No, we haven't got time to get into this debate.
Okay, fair enough. So what I'm taking from that is Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni have been elite in their careers. Their ceiling is being elite, but this year they didn't show it, and they need to get back to that.
Yes, precisely. That's it.
Phil, where do you want to go next? You got any more questions, or do you want me to go to quick? Do you want me to wrap it up with the final few?
It's up to you, man. I don't know how long we've got Colleen for before she's got to carry on with her evening.
We still got 3 questions in the wrap up. Let's go straight there. I think we've had enough insights from Colleen, and I know you've had a busy day. So
I apologize because I feel a little brain dead right now at this time of day. It's just like I power down.
No, you're good. You're good. The beer helps.
It does.
All right, got a few more fun questions to ask you.
Sorry, there is one actually.
Okay,
Liam.
go ahead.
I think it would be good to get Colleen's pick in the first round for the Eagles as it stands. Like, what position group are you targeting in the draft? I think it's important.
So wide receiver, tight end, or
are you looking at tackle?
This is tough because I have not gone into draft mode yet.
Don't worry.
So I have no
idea. Hold you to this one.
For this draft class, I don't know yet. Normally every year I'll do a Daniel Jeremiah call, and I'll call Lance Zierlein too, and be like, all right, where are these positions? Where is this draft strongest? Where is it thinnest? Who's going to be? Where are people going to be reaching? And so it's tough because a first round. If I'm the Eagles, I'm going to take in the trenches, probably first round, best available, and just kind of go from there. But that's also saying this before I know what their plans are at the specific positions, because if there's
I'll text you the week before, Colleen. I'll drop you a text a week before. See if your positions change.
I'll be all in the mock drafts, just kind of checking to see. I love the connections. I love when they're like, well, this guy played here with this one. This was a roommate, and this guy was the assistant's quarterback's coach. And that's my favorite.
Nice.
Very like Charlie Day, Always Sunny in Philadelphia with the red string. That's what I want. But yeah, I guess there's the tight end from Oregon who's really good. Sadiq.
I mean, you will know if we had Mick on the podcast.
Mick, Sadiq, I think.
Yeah, you would have met Mick last time. He's a Scottish guy who was on the initial podcast. He's got 4 kids now. He's building his own offensive line in his family.
Good for him.
So he would be able to. He's our draft guy. You know, because
Okay.
he follows college football a lot. Me and Phil are still getting into college football because we didn't grow up with it. Like we grew up with the NFL, but we didn't really grow up with college football. So.
Same.
Who's your team, up by the way? Who's your college team?
Well, I don't really like have one because being in Philly, college football, it's more about college basketball.
Yeah.
So, and
Temple,
I guess you could have
Penn State.
Right. Penn State maybe would be it,
Yeah.
but that's not really like a real thing. So
No,
I kind of am a little disenfranchised. I don't really have a college team, which sucks because college teams, that seems like it's so much fun and everyone's super into it. And I'm so jealous because I'm like, I went to Drexel and we didn't even have a football team. So I'm not really sure where to go with it.
Is that that's where all the smart kids went though, right, Colleen? That's why I didn't have a football team.
Exactly. I'm still wondering why I went there, but it's tough because college football is like sort of a blind spot for me until it's draft time. And then I have to go all in. I'm like, okay, Zachariah Branch went to Georgia, like just like trying to remember and memorize and educate myself in such a small amount of time.
Does your flat like turn into like pictures on walls, like Post-it notes, like everywhere?
So I've gotten a little bit better about this, but when I first started going and like I was like really nervous about not knowing who certain people were. And now I'm like, oh, well, everyone's kind of like learning at this point who was like in the NFL world. But I would make flashcards for myself. I would memorize like top 7 positions at like, and then like where they went to school, what their awards were, what their highlights were, and like where they could potentially go if there were any type of connections between like GMs and coaches and like current roster spots, needs, like all of that.
That's cool.
I've spent a lot of time just like making my own research packets, which now I'm like, now there's just, you can Google it and you get all of the answers. I could have gotten like half my life back.
This is why you don't go on holidays, Colleen. I think we've just uncovered the reason why this happens.
Exactly. And you learn through that process. Like
you do.
So I would like really nerd out, and I still do. But it's
I might be coming to you. I might be coming to you for your draft packages that you put together. I'll bring you some Irish food. How about that? We'll do a trade.
Well, maybe not.
No, you don't like Irish food?
No, I'm just kidding. I love a shepherd's pie.
I'm doing one this weekend. I'm actually
really.
This weekend. I am, yeah. And there's a guy in a local bar in McGurk's. There's a chain of bars called McGurk's.
Yeah, I know McGurk's.
Yeah, of course you would. And I was just chatting away to him, and I mentioned I was doing a shepherd's pie, and he was like, "Can you bring me some? Like I'm working 8 to like, so I'm going to bring him a little bit of shepherd's pie on Saturday afternoon."
Oh my God, I might have to make it. It's like kind of like chilly and gloomy here, which doesn't really happen. So
chilly is
a shepherd's pie night.
Freezing, Colleen. It's not chilly. There's snow outside.
Well, meanwhile, I have all of my windows are open right now and the fans are on. So it's like, oh, there's like a little chill in the air.
I know. I'm going to Orlando on Sunday for work, so I'm getting away for a few days with Sydney. All right, cool. So a couple more questions to wrap up. If you could steal one player from any NFL team, this is a good one, Phil. If you could steal one player from any NFL team to help the Eagles next season, who are you taking?
Micah Parsons.
Oh, yeah, that's a great
but like, not even
slightly more realistic now than it would have been a year ago. But
yeah, that's true. Oh my God, don't even say that. Can you imagine if Micah Parsons and Penn State guy ended up on the Eagles and then played the Cowboys 2 times a year? Oh, that would be so good. I love that storyline.
Imagine like him and Barkley. Do you reckon they played together at Penn State, or maybe Barkley was there a couple of years before Parsons? Either way.
So yeah.
Either way, that would be. Yeah, that's a great shout, Phil. I didn't even think about that. I was thinking Brock Bowers or someone like that. But yeah, Parsons would be the perfect fit. We win the Super Bowl next year if we have Parsons. And end off.
Yeah, you get a Lombardi and Parsons. That's how it works.
Yeah, that's exactly how it works.
Yeah.
Sorry, Packers. All right, what's your boldest prediction for the Eagles in the upcoming year, or just your best prediction, whatever you fancy?
Well, I think it's not a bold prediction. I think AJ Brown ends up leaving Philly.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's bold because it feels bold to me because I was just so long
based on the salary cap and what the impact it will have. But I still agree.
I just assumed they would work it out, and because he is such a great talent that they would keep him. But the more I talk about it, the more I kind of convince myself that maybe not. And that then kind of makes it even more interesting to think about where he could go. And even though you never want to see talent leave your team, but then it's like, okay, well, yeah, what would that mean for a Josh Allen? He would have to go to the AFC.
Huge.
Like, to Phil's point, he could not be in the NFC. There's no way. It's not like we're doing some type of Washington, this is for you.
No.
Here's like McNabb.
We're not the Giants.
Years ago.
We're not idiots.
Exactly.
I know he doesn't get much choice, but it would surprise me if he went to the Bills, given he's such a massive Pats fan. To go into the division it's going to hurt. I feel like he'd be against that, and it'd be Pats or nothing for the AFC East.
Pats or Bills, he's going to be the wide receiver one. He's going to be fed the ball like he wants. He's going to be 1K always open. He can break records. He's going to have Josh Allen.
And Drake May's really good though too. If he did go there.
I mean, if he has dreams one day to go to the Pats, even if it's not in this move, if he goes to the Bills, that's going to make that incredibly difficult to then go.
True, but players don't always get what they want. You know, I think if Parsons had his way, he would have been in Philly rather than.
Yeah, of course.
He's a huge Eagles fan.
Yeah.
All right, Phil, take the last question, my friend.
What's the most Philly thing you've done recently, Colleen? This is not my question.
Oh my God, there's so many. Well, I still have my Christmas tree up. I need to get that down. That's definitely, I'm looking at it right now. Doesn't look good. I'll tell you that much. Definitely.
Mine's at the bottom of my garden.
Can't turn it on. I'm trying to think because I feel like everything I do is still very Philly. And there's so many people that I work with. There's so many people that live around me that are Philly.
Oh, I know. I was in San Diego recently, and I couldn't believe how many people.
They're everywhere.
They're like literally everywhere. Like, I got Go Birds like 20 times on San Diego Beach in one day, just walking up like the pier. It's crazy.
I will roll down my window while I'm driving and catcall people that are wearing Eagles gear, and just like a quick Go Birds. And I'm like, I don't know if this is super smart, but it doesn't matter what time of day, what type of neighborhood, what anything. I'm just like, oh, if I see that, I will engage. Like, there's
that makes
no
me
way
very
that I
happy.
can't.
Do they just have the most confused look on their face? I think I just got catcalled by Colleen Wolfe.
Well, I did it in the grocery store a couple of days ago. There was somebody walking down the aisle in an Eagles shirt, this girl, and I was like, should I do it? No, don't do it. I should do it. And then I kept and then as she's passing, I was like, Go Birds!
Yeah. That's awesome. That is great. Do you boo Dallas fans as well? Like, do you boo? Do you see a Dallas?
No,
fan?
I say Go Birds to them.
Oh, okay, all right, that
which
works
is the
as
same.
well.
Yeah,
that works.
It's just a more polite way of doing it. But as I tell everyone, booing is a love language. It is definitely Philadelphia's love language. This is how we show you that we care. We boo. If we don't boo, then that's even worse.
Yeah, we just don't even care about you. You're irrelevant. You're irrelevant, right?
Yeah, you don't want that.
No. Kevin Patullo got more than just booing in that last game, I have to say. I do feel for him and his family. I hope they're okay and all that, because it can be rough. Right?
Well, also,
I think the refs were escorting him out of the stadium.
Oh, man. I do hate that, when I heard that his house was toilet papered, I was just, first of all,
I know.
That sucks. That really, really sucks. But second of all, that's the most Philadelphia thing I've ever heard. I haven't heard about someone toilet papering someone's house since I was in high school. So of course that is what happened. I mean, nothing has changed, and I love it.
And you feel it out and about during the day. Colleen, you've been a brilliant host, as you were last time. Thanks so much for coming on, not once but twice today.
Hey.
We really appreciate it.
What time is our third appointment today?
5
Mo, it's
p.m.
already Wednesday morning for me, so
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh yeah, it's gone past midnight for you, Phil. Good job you
I was
don't have
about to
two
say
young
so.
babies that'll wake you up in the middle of the night either, right?
No, they're actually pretty good. They do sleep through the night. Thank God.
That's
Oh.
good. Well, I
Hey,
hope
Colleen,
you also sleep through the night.
I might see you now. I'm stateside. Next time you're seeing Ashling, hit me up. We'll go and have a beer.
Amazing. Okay, that'd be great.
Yeah,
You guys are the best. Go Birds.
Yeah,
go
go Birds.
Birds.
Thanks
Thanks,
ever so much.
Colleen.
Bye, guys.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
What an awesome guest. Yet again, Colleen Wolfe, gracing us with her time. Big Eagles fan. It's great to hear her unfiltered feedback about the Eagles and what needs to happen, what doesn't need to happen, and her opinion on it, because she will have her finger on the pulse more than most of us will, from a national perspective. And she'll obviously have the inside track as well. But listen, Phil, I'm going to let you go and grab some well-earned should I. I know my wife also wants me to cook dinner, so I better get to that as well. Hope you enjoyed the Colleen Wolfe podcast. I certainly did. We're going to have a number of great guests lined up for you and everyone this year. So keep continuing to tune in. And hey, we are the British and Irish Eagles. All that's left to say is go Birds.
Go Birds.
Celebrate victories, rally through challenges, and bond with fellow fans as you toast with a dram of Loch Lomond single malt whisky. From tailgating gatherings to watch parties at home, Loch Lomond whisky becomes an essential companion, enhancing the moments that make football so extraordinary. It's the perfect accompaniment, from the joy of victory to the bittersweet moments of defeat. Loch Lomond offer a wide range of malts, with their flagship perfectly balanced, and signature expressions Inchmoan and Inchmuren to suit any taste palate. Celebrate greatness on and off the field this season with a perfect balance of Loch Lomond whisky and Eagles football. From the first pour to the crowd roar, fly Eagles fly.